Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Monday night connection. We know it's not Monday today. We had a Labor Day, so we moved it one day. Um, but it's important that we connect in this week, and obviously the next couple of weeks until what we call Rosh Hashana, which we spoke a little bit about Rosh Hashana as as a touching point, right? Is a reset button every year. Every year, what is Rosh Hashanah? Is not a holiday that was decided because some people or religion or a scroll, we call it the Torah, decided that this is a cycle of 365 days, so we need to celebrate a new year, or we need every year to do a resolution. Therefore, that's why we have Rosh Hashanah, and obviously, mostly Jewish people know about it, and not everybody else know about it. So obviously, as we get closer, we get more information about Rosh Hashanah, which is a moment in every year that one can shift. Okay, either shift down or shift up, right? It depends on the person. If the person doesn't do any changes, if a person doesn't really transform anything about themselves, if a person stay the same way, he's shifting down. It's like in business. You're not moving forward, you're moving backward. So obviously we know that anytime a new year starts, what do you mean a new year? It's technically the spiritual year. What does it mean? Rosh Hashanah is nothing to do with religion, right? It's your spiritual year starting, but what is it really all about? It's the birth of Adam, the first man, the first human was created in that day. So we know prior to Rosh Hashanah, 6 days before, that was the creation of the world. That's what we're celebrating that as well, meaning when we're celebrating, connecting to the energy of birth of the world, and then 6 days later, the birth of humanity. So it's never spoke about that is only for specific people. It's for all humanity get nourished back again every year. Again, the opportunity is there. Not everybody really take the advantage on that. Not everybody really know about it. Our responsibility is to share it and to invite as many as people to connect in that day. And technically 2 days of Rosh Hashanah. In that day, as I said before, we have an opportunity to reset and to reshift ourselves higher and higher, greater and greater. That's the consciousness that should be. So in order to do that, we've been given those 30 days. We spoke about the 30 days of the month of Virgo, which we all have the opportunity to reborn again, re-establish again a connection to who we are, right? Become a virgin. That's why it's ruled by the sign of Virgo, right? To come clean again. And then the reset button can work. But if you don't do the work in this month at all, Rosh Hashanah comes and there's no reset. You're just a continuation of the same thing. Whether if it's good or it's bad, it's the same continuation, which we know if a person doesn't grow, you go backward like we spoke. So it's always about shifting to the next and to the next. Therefore, what are we technically dealing with in this month? We spoke in the last week as well. There is the force of our opponent, the negative side of us. Each one of us, if you're really a little bit aware of yourself, a little bit, not too much. Some people call it I have the good guy, the bad guy. Sometimes I have a good day, bad day. Sometimes I have a negative thought and a bad thought, evil inclination, good inclination. I have default mechanism, and I have, all kind of reasons people call it. It's my default, it's my defect, it's my all kind of shortcoming they call it. The force of what we call our evil force, because sometimes we can find ourselves thinking, behaving, or even feeling very evil, which we know it's not us, we spoke about it. But because we engage for longer time with that force, because we're listening too much to these voices, now I'm in a bad spot. Now I get squeezed to the corner. Now I don't even see where I can get out of it. So before we go into that, we have that opportunity of this month, and specifically this week. This week gives us a beautiful gift for those of us who actually engage in this work. Know that this work in this week says, כי תצא למלחמה על אויביך. If you're waging war on your enemy, if you're waging, or when, either if or when, you're waging war over your enemy, ונתנו Hashem בידיך. And the Creator will hand the enemy in front of you. Right? He will give the enemy in your hand. So listen to, this is the reading of this week, and this is the instruction that we get. So, obviously, again, there's so many layers here. What are we dealing in this week? First, consciousness. It's all consciousness. There is no external war. Every time we have external war, God forbid, in this world, is only a result of people don't want to deal with themselves, so they deal with others, meaning they blame others. We know that many of us waking up in the morning and we don't know there is a war. Again, think about it. Who in his right mind, is there any God or creator or system that will say you guys should go to war? It's already telling you, any war in this world, telling you someone is about to be killed. There's no war that nobody gets killed or everybody's safe. So it's not a war. Maybe it's an argument. Even in an argument, sometimes people died. But what we're talking about is that the instruction is to go to war, but meaning to create death, to kill somebody. No, because if somebody go to war and someone come to kill him, of course he's going to try to kill him back. Is that the instruction? Because in the 10, when we receive on Mount Sinai, it says, "Thou shalt not kill." So why would you send me to war? Because that will kill somebody or get killed, God forbid, right? Obviously, this is not the instruction. This is not the connection here. What are we connecting here? The instruction is to tell us to go deeper, to go internal. There is no external war. Yes, maybe someone trying to, win your business, or maybe someone trying to buy you out, or someone maybe want to fight on a position that you have, and whatever it is. But the real war that we want to connect here is the internal war. Is the war inside your head, is the war of your emotions, and is the war of who and what will rule when you take an action. This is the war this is the only war that exists. There is no other war. The war with my negative side, the war with my evil inclination, the war with my shortcoming. This is the war. If someone waking up in the morning and doesn't even know that there is a war, is already losing the battle. He lost the battle, the entire war is losing. So the first thing that I know, I need to wake up in the morning and realize there is a war. There is a war over my consciousness. Who would rule? Is it my soul? Or is it my negative side? will rule today and provide only negative and small incidents and small actions and tiny consciousness, not expanded, who would rule over your life? Is it you with your soul, or is it you as a robotic you? This is the question you want to ask yourself, and this is the important part to understand. I need to be, why to be in war? Why not to speak in love? You should be in love and kind. Yes, even when people want to be kind and nice, something inside of them tell them, no, don't do it to this individual, right? Or they don't deserve your love. Even that, your negative side want to take over. That your love will be been given only to people who want it, and the people who don't want, we're gonna hate them. That's what our negative side says. So many people think only no war, just love. Of course, there's not a question. But if in order to get to the level that we really freely love each other, we really unconditionally love each other, you gotta have a battle with your own negative side, with your own smallness, with your own limitation. There is nothing outside who's trying to do that. It's only internal. Once everyone understand the negative side, our opponent have no end. He have a purpose, have a mission, and is installed within us to allow us to constantly be growing, changing, next level. We learn that if your opponent is small, your growth, your transformation is small. To the degree that it grows, to the degree that he's the negative side of you trying to rule, to that degree you can reveal light, you can reveal your soul, you can reveal your greatness. So that's what we have it. But you cannot do it unless you are waking up and know that you're at war. And the gift is, let me tell you the other half of the sentence, the instruction. If you're waging war against your negative side, untano Hashem beyadecha, the Creator will hand him into your hands. It's already a win-win. So wait a second. So why should I even go to war? I just say I'm going to go to war. So that's it? No. You got to prepare. You got to fight. You got to wake up in the morning and wage that war. By how? About why? Nothing is bothering me this morning. How? Which war? Don't worry. It's coming to bothering you. But if you waiting, the war will come to you. But if you're waging a war, if you proactively today searching for what else to work on, what else to improve, how else to expand, don't worry, the negative side will tell you, no, you don't need to, that's enough. The other people give you all kinds of excuses. This month, specifically this week, we're already chopping off of the forces of negativity before we're heading to the new year. That's this month, that's this energy. To establish war consciousness. I'm a fighter, I'm a warrior over my consciousness, over what I want. People think I need to fight with people, waging war of others on market or create a new category. No, simply in your head. Now I'm going to go into other parts to share with us what type of war or what type of gifts that we need to awaken in order to completely giving the negative side in our hand, not us in his hands, the other way around. That is when you're waging war every single day. I remind you, it's a non-stop. It's a non-stop work. There is no break. There is no pause. There is no timeout. I need to recalculate. No. People said, I need a break from the spiritual work. I need some time to think. Yeah. Who do you think told you this? Your negative side. Because, he can't handle you when you are spiritual. So he tells you, take a break, why do you need it? You're a good person. Why are you fighting so hard? Why are you struggling so hard? Take a break, go enjoy, go vacation, or drop the books. Don't worry about your teacher. Don't worry about the class. Take a break a few months. Many people have that. Who do you think told him that? Your negative side. It's not your soul. Your soul is non-stop seeking for more light, for more revelation. Your negative side no, take a break. You're doing too much. Please listen to these voices, because the negative side is non-stop, like our soul, like the light of the Creator is non-stop. These are the rules, and this is the war. So now, we've been given the negative side as captive as soon as we're waging a war every single day, right? Whether if you won or not, it's a different story. But the consciousness, that's how it should be. So every single day. Then it says, and again, this is where it becomes a little bit complicated, right? Complicated, I want to say, because for those of us who don't know a little bit about the wisdom of Kabbalah, and obviously we're reading from the Torah. The Torah is, been written and been channeled to this world thousands of years ago, right? So some of it sounds like it's very ancient, and maybe back in the time that's what it sounds like. I want to remind you that when you read this week's portion, or any portion in the Torah, it's always speaks about actual time, now. Never speak about back in the desert, back in Egypt, back in Israel, back in this, back in that, in Babylonia. No. It's only about today, live, every single moment you breathe. That's where it speaks about. Never about thousands of years ago. And that's something that many of us get difficulty with this. He speaks about if you go to war and you saw a woman, and I want to just don't fall into woman and men. We spoke about it many times in Kabbalistic. We want to shatter that. We want to shatter that idea of man and woman, and the idea that many of us got caught up in that physicality. How it look, how it sounds, who is better, who is worth, who get more, who get less. If there are so much, if you can study a little bit more of this wisdom, you will see what we're talking about. He says if you go to war, again, and you saw a beautiful woman, again, I feel already bad even speaking like that. But if I'm going to read for you what it says, it's really bad. It's really bad. So you take a woman, again, I'm going to share with you the physical appearance of the story, and why myself and many others couldn't get closer to this, because it's inhumane. It's not really, it's not in our period of time. People could relate to that. I don't relate to that. But if you don't open the books of Kabbalah, and realizing what a beautiful consciousness, it's just a missing opportunity from this world. So I'm gonna say it, but because I want each one of us to go inside and understand what it means, and it's written this way. Why is written this way? If you're waging war on your enemy, the Creator will give you in His hands. I already spoke about what it means. Veshavita shivyo, and you capture him, right? And you will be it will be under your captivity. V'raita b'shivya, and then if you saw a beautiful woman, veshavita b'shivya, eshet yefat toar, and you take a woman, you like her, you capture her, right? And if you like her and you crave her, right? You take her for a woman. Doesn't even say, wait, did you ask her if she want to marry you? right? What if she's not so pretty? You asking Isha Fator, a beautiful woman, right? You saw, so imagine, this is the story, right? A man goes to war, he sees woman, he sees like he's fighting the war, then he see a beautiful woman, in the middle of the war, you see a beautiful woman, oh, I have a desire for her, okay, I'm gonna grab her, I'm gonna capture her, I'm gonna put her as my in my captivity, right? And then it continue to even worse than that. Then it speaks about, if you bring her to your house, you have to shave her head. She have to do her nails, right? And you need to take her and marry her. Again, it's a little bit more than that, that the way we saying, but it says, and then you take away the clothing that she's wearing, the dresses that she had while she was in her father's house, right? And then for 30 days she would cry over her mother and father, right? And then you're gonna come to her and you take her for a woman, meaning you have a relationship with her, right? But if you don't want her, right, send her for free. But you can also take another woman, right? So you can have two women. Again, I want to stop here, right? I want to stop here just to break it into our life, because it's longer conversation, but it's a beautiful consciousness to it. If you read it literally, you would think I would repel from that. But when you go deeper, now let's break it this sentence for details and see the work that we want to do in this month. וראית בשביה אישת יפת תואר, and if you see, again, this is the sentence, if you see a beautiful woman, capture her, right? That's what he says. What is the consciousness? Every single day in our life, but specifically in this month, we need to ask every single day, I want to see the beauty. I want to see the beauty in this world. I want to see the beauty of us, of who we are. Remember, when we speak about the woman, we're speaking about a vessel. Our spiritual vessel. This is a whole conversation with our spiritual vessel. Nothing to do with our physical appearance, nothing to do with the physical appearance of the world. Humanity itself is like a vessel. And the light of the Creator is that light, right? The Creator is the light and humanity is the vessel. So many of us, the earth, right, is a vessel, is woman, right? Call it earth, Mother Earth, what people call it. Why is not a man earth? What is a gender? Like earth have a gender? What does it mean? Of course. Oh, yeah, that's how they call it. No, my friend. It's a vessel and light. That's all a combination within us. So our vessel was, in captivity in the negative side. I can't see the beauty of that. And when your friend behave in a negative way, do you see the beauty in them? Do you see the beauty in the action? Of course not. Therefore, what do we do? How I'm going to express the beauty? First of all, remember, if you go to work every single day and you ask, of course, I want to see the beauty in what's in front of me. Even if it's not so pretty, I know there's beauty there. I know there is a greatness in front of me and within me. And I want to ask for that. This is the first idea that we need to. Why? Because within us there's two ways of communication. Either to receive or to influence. Many of us love influence when it's really about us. I will do anything as long as I know what I'm going to get in return. None of us know the influence, the beauty that we're asking here, the beauty of ourselves, the beauty of our soul, or the beauty in the action of only to influence. Nothing for myself. If you have that, if you achieve that, to see the beauty of what it means to be not an influencer that we all talking about, in the media and all of that, or in marketing you have some influencer, right? Most of the influencers are doing it for themselves, right? Or if I get something out of it. Most of us, how many, doing it, spreading the wisdom of Kabbalah just for the sake of doing it without me, right? It's very difficult. But I would love to influence with a product if someone give me a little kick, right? That's what people do. That's what means influencer. I work for you. That's not what we're talking about. I want the influence only to see the beauty of when I have created an influence just for the sake of influence, nothing to do with me, then that's the beauty. Not the beauty of I influence someone and I got in return. What a beautiful connection. No. Then if you have that, then you have Beshivya, then you have the captivity. What does it mean? You need to capture, if you have a moment that you saw what it means to influence the world, what it means to influence, to be of a sharing, to what it means to be of service for others. What does it mean? Not for the sake of, that's what they told me, but to see the beauty in that. And once you have a glimpse of that, capture this moment. Capture this moment, because you need to remember that for later on, when you don't see the influence. This one, I want to see the beauty of my vessel. I want to see the beauty that exists in this world around us, even if it's not so pretty. But the deeper part that I want to see is the beauty in an influence without the need to get something in return. That's we don't have enough. So this is what you want to ask every single day to achieve that. Then it says v'chashakta ba. And if you crave this woman, and if you crave or desiring this woman, again remember we're not talking about a woman. If I crave to connect to my vessel of influence, not the vessel of receiving, that's easy. But in order for that, I need to awaken greater craving, greater yearning for that. Meaning, I need to awaken a greater desire to influence without the need to receive something back. Very important to understand that influence, because for the sake of doing it, it's a very little amount of people do it. Very little amount. But only until then. Then, only until when? When can I actually have the ability to influence? Only when velakachta lecha leisha. Only when you take, he says, and then if you like her, if you love her and you crave her, then you take her for a woman, right? We spoke about it. What do you mean take her for a woman? It represents you need to become absolute committed. If you don't have an absolute committed to influence without an agenda for myself, then you don't have, at least a deeper work, an internal deeper work. Not just to get married. I need to get married. I want to get married. That's not the point. Is can you marry your vessel? Meaning, can you be committed for actions, emotions, and thoughts that are purely to influence this world in sharing, in love, and in giving? Can I do it this year? This is what you need to do this month. This is the thought. This is the depth that you want to make with yourself, and with that I want to enter to a new year. And for that you receive so many opportunities and so many greater influence when you have that. When you come to this year, when you come to Rosh Hashanah with this type of consciousness, you have a greater chance to reactivate your vessel in a greater way, to shift your energy to a much better, influence that you ever saw. Only when you have the consciousness, I want to marry her. What does it mean? I want to commit. I want to have a big commitment to influence without an agenda. Then, because we know many people thinking that they want to marry someone who look good, right? Or have some influence, or have some money, or have some possession. Very wrong, very wrong. We're not going into many details, but this is what our negative side, this is what our evil inclination tell us. Look, they look so good. You're gonna look so good together, and wow, you have the money, so your life will be easier. And wow, look at the position, the friends that they have. So wow, they will be great for you. It will have a new friend now. You have a new friend now. All your old friends, you can get rid of them. Many people are calculating, being with somebody or not based on these things. A lot. Again, maybe you who now telling yourself, no, I'm not like that. Maybe you are the only one. But most of us looking for a relationship, the most initial is like, do they look good? What do they have? They have a career. They have a job. This. That's the calculation. Then, are they good people? Right? Are they spiritual? Are they in a constant war, waging war against their negative side? No, who cares about that? So please, if you wanna this year, because we know every Rosh Hashanah we receive many gifts, right? And to activate the gifts of real relationship, you wanna go a little bit deeper in your reasoning to attract one. Otherwise, you can be a very captive of a negative side. Maybe you have a beautiful person next to you, but you're miserable. You're in your captivity. You understand? Be very careful and aware of this. The next thing he says, "Veheveta ota el toch betecha," and bring her to your house. Take this woman, bring her to your house. Very clear. A woman, I like her, I crave her, I marry her, I bring her to my house. What does the house represent? What do you mean, Veta el toch betecha? You bring it into your house. Ask yourself, what is the house? The house is not a physical house. The house represents, your world, your reality, right? Your reality. How is your reality look like, right? Is your reality filled with wisdom? Is your reality filled with only matters? Right? Physicality. Is your reality have Torah, a path, Kabbalah? You have spiritual practice. You have rules that you live by. You have some guidance that well, what is your house? Do you have a teacher who guides you? You follow a system of sort, right? Are you growing? That's your house. That's where you want to bring that, right? Which means the negative side. There is no what we call tachbulot. There are no tricks against your negative side. There are no drugs. There are no quick fix. There are no solution against the war in your mind beside the spiritual work. He says that's the spice, right? The Torah is the spice that the negative side stay away. Sometimes people putting, different herbs and spices around, or whatever it is, a bug, for bugs, against whatever it is, right? So the spice makes them, repelled. That's exactly with your negative side. When you plug it into that system, specifically connecting to the wisdom of Kabbalah, the negative side, it's off limit. I can't get it. That's the only way. Again, many people think there are many tricks, many journeys that they can take, many drugs that they can find. No quick solution. There's no way. The negative side, it doesn't really scared of that. The only way it burned is when you connect into this wisdom. And that's just a gift beyond our logic that we can understand. Then, when you have that path, when you bring it to your home, meaning you create a home, you create a surrounding, you create a reality which you have the right advisor, the right teachers, the right consciousness, the right wisdom, the right rules, the right path. Then what happened? Gilcha et se'areh, et rosha. Then she shaved her head. What? I need to bring a woman and I shave her head? That's very cool. No, my friend. That represents a beautiful consciousness. If you have that house that you create, that reality, as I said before, that is guided by not just you and your ego, by great teachers, by great path, by great rules, then the head is shaved. What does it mean, the head? Head represent the hair, right? She shaved the hair, right? You shave the hair represent, it's called se'ara, which is hair. But it's the same word as se'ara, which is storm. A storm. What are we shaving away? All the storms that happening in our mind. All the judgments, right? That running, right? Like a tornado in our mind. This is you solving. This is wiped out. You shave it completely from your life. You want to achieve the level that you shave the hair, right? Not physical. It's shaving, meaning completely remove any attachment to all the judgments that storm your mind, that came as a storm and left a destruction in your mind. That's what we want to solve. This is this month, and this is the gift of this week. So we can enter to a year without all those judgments that we carry from before. Without all those negative thoughts that bombarding our mind, that the tornado, right? Or hurricane, you can call them, whatever you want to call them. Hurricane, right? Then, all this is been shaved. What a gift, what a gift. Then he says, Ve'asta et zipornea, and then she needed to do her nail. What is nail? Everybody don't understand what is nail. So they think, oh, now this woman is in captive, cut her head, shave her head, cut her nail. You know, please don't ever go there. It's a beautiful understanding here. What he says, the nail. We know when Adam and Eve was born, they were born into that skin. Their entire nail was all our skin. Without going into many details, there's a reason for that, you know, and it's not the time right now or even the place to start going into that. Maybe it's some other point. The nails represent a connection to the tree of life. To the tree of life. What is tree of life? Unlimited being. Unattached to anything. I can be everywhere, anywhere, all the time. Tree of life is without any limitation. Tree of life is removal of all attachment to death and end. Tree of life is an endless being. You can be in a physical body, but you're not attached to that. You're not being judged by that. You're an unlimited influence. That's tree of life. We learn that when the falling of Adam created all our skin, this is just the residue of the connection that we had. That's why even when person had to leave this world, even, you know, if someone, God forbid, died, even the nail keep growing, right? The nail and hair is the only thing that keeps growing, right? And I think the tooth, I'm sorry. We know that when the connection here, what he's saying to you here, and you see the beauty of the nail, what does it mean? Make a connection to the nails. Because now I can see, this month I can see all the days that I was connected or I was under the captivity of my negative side. This is what you want to see. So it's kind of like your nails are kind of like a reflection, right? It's like reflective. That's what people do, like buffering. They worry about the nails. They clean them. They eat them all the time. All the time they worry about the nails, right? Why? That's tell us something. That's internal reason, right? We want to be connected to the tree of life. I don't want to be, that small thinker. I want to be a bigger thinker. And we know that throughout the years, we were connected to a small, tiny place, insecure place, based on what people think about us. That's how we used to do. And now, I don't want it. I want to be back connected to the tree of life. Therefore, I need to be able this month to see how was I look like when I was in that small place, when I argue with my manager, or when I argue with a co-worker, or even with an employee of mine. How did I go that low? How did I end up in a road rage? How? I don't even know how they took over me. I need to see it. I need to see it this month. And then feel the pain that I was like, wow, it's pushed me away from the truth. Pushed me away from being unlimited. I need to see it. That's the reflection of the nail, right? This is what we want to. Then, the last part, he says, Vehesira simlat shivya. Then you take away the dress. What do you mean the dress? Dress represents clothing. Clothing is not attached to your body. Clothing is something you put on your body, which means in the time that you are connected to the negative side, or you are in the captivity of your negative side, you just take that away. It's possible to remove it from you, but I was doing all these negative things, but I was engaged in that negativity. It's okay. It's just clothing. You can remove them because you are in captivity. And this is what Rosh Hashanah is about. That's why he says, "Uvachta et avia v'et ima yerach yamim." She would cry, for her father and mother for 30 days. What does it mean? The 30 days of this month of Elul. We have to look deep inside and realize how disconnected I was from my father and mother. Represent the light of the Creator and the Shekhinah, the holy system of the light of the Creator. How was this disconnected from this greatness of me? This is what needs to happen. And therefore, if you have this work, you come into the Rosh Hashanah in a couple of weeks. Absolutely. Greater and greater consciousness come to you. Greater and greater light can be revealed by you. And many more that we can learn from this. But again, it was very important to share with you, as far as what we can do in this month, if we can remove as well the dress. What do you mean the dress? The clothing, the immediate gratification. I'm done with this clothing, right? Immediate gratification is an action that creates clothing that where the negative side can use, right? So the immediate gratification, the negativity I engage with, all the garbage that was accumulated throughout the year, just get rid of it, clean it up. This is this month. This is this gift of this coming year. Highly recommended to listen to it a couple of times to this lecture and share it, please. And if you can, either share it with people or just like it or what should we call subscribe to that. And thank you for joining us, and I see you soon.